It's party time, so for your homeboys and your crazy cousins. We came here to eat, we're not leaving until we're stuffed. And there'll be nothing left, nothing safe, not even a crust. All aboard for a fat boy trip, and you can call me captain. Don't forget the paper plates and the stack of napkins. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. Pizza party, pizza party, gonna have a good time. Pizza party, have a sip of red wine. Yeah.
Ciao, Paisans! Woohoo! Here we go. Somebody call Orville Redenbacher. The chat is popping like corn. All the cool kids are here today. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Joey Royale's Pizza Party, June 2023. We're still breathing. We're still rolling dice. And we're still getting weird down in the Mozzarella Mausoleum. Let me take a look at you. Oh, you are all ready for summer. Look, you even got a tan already. I smell a little bit of coconut on you. You got a little haircut. I got a little haircut. All right, my Gumati took me to the garage and put the clippers on me. I got to be in shape for you guys. I missed you. How you been? I'm getting into the summer mode. All right, school's out for summer. Uncle Alice, it is time to unwind and enjoy the fruits of the season. Let's get strange tonight. Boom! I got a show for you. Have I ever lied to you about that yet? No, I haven't. Oh, my goodness. We got the doctor. The doctor is in the house. All right, Dr. Metal is with us. We got to hang out in person the other day. It was beautiful. We high-fived. It was great. Met the family. Had some cake, beautiful, and then this is amazing. I can't believe I have both of these people on the show at the same time. Boom, your computer might explode like Y2K all over again. The man, Levi Combs, the other man, Mr. Alpha Flight himself from up north, Marzio is in the house. Woo! And of course, Elena on the ones and twos. We are gonna get crazy. But we are missing one person tonight. You probably have heard or didn't hear the name Cousin Marty. Cousin Marty, as you have seen in some of the past episodes, has gotten himself into a little bit of a legal fiasco. I guess we could call that about a couple of torched Olive Gardens. You know, there's no proof, but he's been running, and we're a little bit worried. I haven't heard from him in a week. And Nona upstairs got a late notice from the Fairhaven Library on a book about D.B. Cooper that was signed out in Cousin Marty's name. This is not looking good for the family. Say a prayer, all right? Light a candle for Marty. We love you, buddy, but you can't run forever, all right? We'll help you out. We got to start the legal defense. Who's running the carpet store? Nobody. We had to put the shutter down. And this is prime shag season. Everybody wants a nice orange shag in the middle of the summer. Get the dehumidifier going. All right, enough about everybody. You'll meet everybody as we come along. Say a prayer for Cousin Marty, wherever you may be. Let's talk about my friend, Father Goose. The Goose is loose. Man, have you checked out his show? This guy, he's knocking it out of the park. Father Goose is play testing the game tonight, but he sends his love to everybody. Check out Father Goose and the Fabulators on Goodman Games Twitch. They are working up some great stuff, and I want to thank him because the mailman came, all right? Mr. McFeely came, and he brought me, yes, Corvaxian Codex. Yes, Corvaxian Codex 2. There's black feathers everywhere. And this one I haven't cracked yet. But this is the one I really want to check out. He's going deep into his own lore. Rise of the Drachenwolf. And this says, the Drachenwolf has long been feared in the frozen north. Now, leading an army of devoted beastmen. I love a good beastman. The Drachenwolf is on the move. Will the Corvaxian and Furbolg tribes unite to repel the invasion? Or will long animosity cause both tribes to fall prey to the rise of the Drachenwolf? compatible with Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game. Quality man, quality friend. Yeah! All right. Love that stuff. Let's go into the Crypt of Cool. Now, it's summertime. I got a little bit of free time. Idle hands are the devil's playthings, which sounds really fun. All right? Don't threaten me with a good time. But anyways, now is the time of year where I like to exercise my brain a little bit. First of all, let me show you some things I picked up lately. Now, this. I would order the Book Barn, and this is going to be a whole summer's worth of inspiration. And I'm so glad the Doctor and Levi and Mars is on today, because this is their kind of thing too. They're like this. I picked up this beauty. The League of Regrettable Superheroes. All right. This thing, I got it for a steal, but this is half-baked heroes from comic book history. I just got it like 2 days ago. I haven't even read it yet, but I just opened up a page. I'm going to learn about Dr. Vampire. I'm going to learn who is not a vampire. He goes out and kills vampires. That's like calling yourself Dr. Beastman and you kill Beastman. So I look here, I do it with Dr. Vampire. Funny man. Look at this jerk. All right? Look. Yeah, that'll show him. Pow! The boxing glove right out of the chest. All right? Jeez. This is by the same guys that made Superman. All right? Everybody started somewhere, pals. Everybody started. So what's another one I found? Oh, I love this guy's look. Magic Man. Look at this. He's got the turban. He's got the domino mask. He's got the green tights and the deep V showing off those magic pecs. Maron. That's who I want to be this summer, and that's who I am going to be this summer. But this is giving me so much inspiration. You know, DCC. That's why I love rolling 3 6s straight down, because you know you're going to get some kind of weird freak with some kind of problem. All right? And this is more inspiration for that. How to make the most out of your lowest stats. We talked about that before. Regrettable superheroes. There's also the League of Regrettable Villains I just saw today. So I'm going to add that to the list. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Phantoma. You're right, Soliho. I love this. All right. Very good. McDevitt's in the crowd. Very nice to see you. Hope you and the missus are doing well. I picked up another weird thing, huh? Oh, now we're getting really strange. All right, just work with me here. It was $1 on the shelf. I had to buy it. The Pineal Doorway. All right, this is a weird one. This is from the Astral Projection series. All right, this tells you, this book consists of 3 rare essays by Astral Projection pioneer Oliver Fox. What lies beyond the Pineal Doorway? Uh-oh. Maybe I will encounter the last experiment. I've just been picking up all these weird kind of fringe paranormal stuff, because this is stuff that, you know, can go into the game. How do you open doorways to other dimensions or other planes with your mind? That's something my wizard would like to do. That's straight up DCC right there. So what I like, you know, I talked about this before. I love my fiction, but I've been trying to pick up inspiration from otherworldly things that exist in our own world. You know, it's another good one. Here's another $1 I got from the dollar bin. This is really cool. Like those 1960s, 1970s pulp supernatural kind of stuff. This one is Mysterious Places by Daniel Cohen. This is not a big chunk of gold for the normal person, but boys and girls, for people like you and me, ooh, this is straight tripping. You know, you got your chapter on Stonehenge. You got your chapter on Atlantis, but then it goes deeper. All right? The Kingdom of Prester John. I had never heard about that one. That's a very strange one. Then you got, what's the other one I was looking into? Oh, you got Lemuria. Come on. This is our stuff. El Dorado. Arthur's Britain, some really cool stuff in here that's going to make for some settings, you know, somewhat based on history. But yeah, exactly what Marcimel says. The type of stuff was my jam at the Scholastic Book Fair. Absolutely. You just hit the nail on the head. And I'm going to make a connection here. Because what I've been doing, I've been going to the book barn. I'm reading like 6 books right now, all right? I read my philosophy. I got books for work that I got to read over the summer about education and policy. But I got to manage my time. So I've been going back to those weird scholastic bookstore, the scholastic book sales from our youth and digging up some old stuff. And here's one of them. You ever hear about this? John Bellaire's The Curse of the Blue Figurine. Now, I got a cheap copy of this. Most of them are illustrated by Edward Gorey, who is one of my number ones. So if you're a kid, you might have seen some really scary ones. I just finished this in 2 afternoons, and it knocked my socks off. And I'm on this kick now of creepy children's literature from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And it says the mystery, like, a Johnny Dixon mystery. Baloney. There's no mystery here. I thought there was going to be like Encyclopedia Brown or the Three Instigators. This isn't Scooby-Doo where they pull off the mask. It's a real thing, man. The supernatural's after this kid, and it almost kills him. Beautiful stuff. Check out anything by John Bellaire's. He also wrote The House with the Clock in the Walls. That's what might be familiar to you. All right? Gaming with Dave. Good to see you, buddy. How'd the meatballs turn out? Hey, who wants this? Say I want this in the chat, and I'll mail it to you. The Curse of the Blue Figurine. It's Joey Royale's summer book party. Soliho, you got it. Listen, it's Lord Blood, I'll put it on, LORD, BLUDD @gmail.com. Yes, The Revenge of the Wizard's Ghost and Sorcerer's Skull. It's upstairs. I bought that one too. All right, there you go. Soliho, if I'm saying it right, that's yours. That's going over here. Who else wants a book? Hey! You know what we talk about all the time? And it's okay if you haven't heard of it before. Who has not read Ray Bradbury? It's okay if you haven't. Anybody never read Ray Bradbury in the audience? Anybody want to read Ray Bradbury in the audience? Oh my God. Keith the Gamer Geek? Grape Ape, never read him? Boom. Stop right there. Keith, you get a medicine for the melancholy. Email me. Grape Ape, you get the Illustrated Man. Email me. All right? Beautiful versions of these too. Look at that, huh? Oh, wait till you find out what those tattoos do. Very good. You got to read them, though. Now, the Ray Bradbury is awesome because they're short stories. But this guy packs a punch. You will not be remiss in reading those. How about Dunsany? You ever read The King of Elfland's Daughter? First one in the chat. If you haven't, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Who wants this one over here? Welcome to Joey Royale's Summer Reading Club. Oh, boy. All right. Well, listen, it's up for dibs. First one that wants The King of Elfland's Daughter. You're not going to go wrong with this one. I thought this one would be the one that goes. Okay. Keith, I already gave you one. If nobody else takes it, you get this one, Keith, okay? And then you guys, listen, it'd be nice if you all got in touch with each other and you can trade them with each other, okay? Here's another one. One of my favorite, you may have known, some of you might be able to guess this. One of my favorite, Bug Professor. Have you want King of Elfland's Daughter? Get to me in the chat. If you watch this show, I've spoke about this several times. It's been a huge inspiration in my life and in some of my writing. This is, okay, Girk Dentley, you get King of Elfland's Daughter. This book changed my life as a 13-year-old reader. This is one of the greatest books. All right, Bug Professor, you got it. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I warn you, you're not going to be able to sleep. All right, and this is a special one. First one that calls dibs that has not gotten a book already. And if you haven't read it, please only reach out if you haven't read it. Salem's Lot. Who wants a copy of Salem's Lot? Jess, good to see you. Great to see you. Who wants to read Salem's Lot? If you haven't read it, man, this one's going to keep you up at night. It can be a quick read. Read it in one night, Brad McDevitt. Of course he did. The guy's a genius. All right. I'll read it. Knoxwell. Guess what? You were brave enough, Knoxwell 2020, to read it. You get a first printing, Knoxwell 2020. This is the first paperback printing of Salem's Lot. There you go. So, LORDBLUDD, Lord Blood at gmail.com. I'm going to do more of this over the summer, so stop by if you're at Gen Con. I'm coming with a whole suitcase of them. I got to clear out the stock. So I'll be coming with a whole bunch of books to give out to my friends because I love you and reading is magic. Okay, what else do I got? One more thing I want to do before we get into our wisdom check and see our friends. I talked to, you know who I am, right here. Fairhaven, WHPA, TV 13. Station guide is out right now. That's on my Etsy shop, Get Haunted Industries, along with Ninja City, also in the Goodman game site. Getting into the weird analog stuff. And one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to is That Would Be Rad podcast with Tyler and Woody. And I brought this up last time. I finally got the actual book. I'm not going to tell you much about it because it's all about research. Ong's Hat. ONG apostrophe S, Ong's Hat. If you're into the Philadelphia experiment, time travel, strange ashrams in the middle of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, etc., knitting, Ong's Hat. You have something you'd like to share with the rest of us, amazing Larry? All right, wisdom check. Here we go. I got two things for you today. Of course they're connected. That's how things work. Wisdom check. This is from Epictetus, The Art of Living. Now, consider this as an artist and a friend of Joey Royale, okay? Who exactly do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? What are your personal ideals? Whom do you admire? What are their special traits that you would make your own? It's time to stop being vague. If you wish to be an extraordinary person, you ever listen to the word extraordinary person? If you wish to be wise, then you should explicitly identify the kind of person you aspire to become. If you have a day book, write down who you're trying to be so that you can refer to this self-definition. Precisely describe the demeanor you want to adopt so that you may preserve it when you are by yourself or with other people. This one's very important to me. We all think we know who we are, and we just keep on pushing through. This is who I am. This is how I was raised. These are the dogmas and rules that I follow, whether I agree with them or not. Time to change. It's summer. Time to refresh. Jump in the deep end of the pool and get a little cold, okay? Christopher Messamori last year gave me a 30-day challenge. Work on something for 30 days. And that's how the June manifestations came up. I'm going to do this a little bit more self-reflective. I'm going to take Epictetus's idea, and I'm going to write one sentence a day with my cereal, with my Captain Crunch in the morning, and the blackstrap molasses to start the day. I'm going to write one sentence. You like that one? Of who I'm working towards to be. Not who I'm going to copy or, Superman or this or that, realistic stuff, because I don't think I take enough time to figure out who I am and how I'm changing daily and who I want to be, be a better dad, be a better husband, be a better friend of myself, or that 12-year-old that's over in the doorway. So just think about that. And maybe if you want to join me on that journey, we can share. Punishment. I like this. You must sacrifice yourself to the person you want to be. And sometimes it is a very hard choice to make. I'm telling you, the Joey Royale, it's not kayfabe. I'm not breaking kayfabe. This guy is taking over, and I feel better because of it. I'm allowing this guy to be out more in public, and I'm enjoying life a little bit more because you know what? I'm being myself. And you only get one shot. You know how that goes. So then we turn over to Mr. Rick Rubin, all right? And this is what he says. Kind of piggybacks, as the businessmen say. It piggybacks onto what Epictetus has to say. So, very, very important. This could literally save lives. Each artist works with their own balance of strengths and weaknesses. And there is no rule that more praiseworthy strengths or romanticized self-destruction equals better art. Expressing yourself is all that matters. I tell you what, when I was younger, I was so obsessed with Johnny Cash and Nick Cave that I did stupid things because I was trying to emulate the person more than the artist. And it was dumb. I wasted time and nothing magic came out of it. I had a good time. Whoa, don't get me wrong, I had a good time. But that's not the pathway to creativity in my book. All that jibber jab, I used to be into the Velvet, I still am, the Velvet Underground, Basketball Diaries, Jim Carroll and all that. And you're like, oh, let's move to the city. Let's go crazy. Let's be one of the Ramones. Look where all those guys ended up. Take care of yourself. It's hard. And that demon's always scratching on your neck. But focus on the fun. That you don't need to be a rock and roller in order to be a real rock and roller. All right? A real rock and roller embraces their super heroism, and they know what the kryptonite is, and they stay the heck away from it. All right? Self-care. Now, before Dr. Metal comes in, he's just wrapping up dinner upstairs. Just pulled it for you from the Garbage Pail Kid Tarot deck. For all of you, my friends out there, today's card is perfect. Look at this. It just works. Temperance. Jeez. Somebody's watching us and giving us this divine inspiration. Temperance. Upright. Balanced Betty. It's time to go with the flow like Balanced Betty. Temperance represents equilibrium, fairness, and moderation. It's time to stay cool as a cucumber and play the peacemaker in any squabbles you may find yourself in. Now isn't the time for hot-headedness, rash decisions, or haste. Relax, stay calm, and let the pieces fall where they will. There you go. Don't get involved in that nonsense on Facebook. Everybody's fighting about stuff. Roll some dice. Go down to the basement. Have some bagel bites. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. And don't forget to be that 12-year-old. Speaking of that 12-year-old, the doctor is in the house. Dr. Metal, how you doing, buddy?
Joseph, we're waxing up the woody. That summer wind is blowing in, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Happy solstice, you pagans. It's summertime.
All right. Reach in between my legs, ease the seat back. All right. Look at those California girls behind you. Buzz de bop. Nitty bop.
All right. How are
What
we
you got
doing?
for us, Doc?
I got all kinds of stuff. But first, look what I got in the mail yesterday.
Oh, ask me how I make 1,000 gold a day as a gong farmer. That is beautiful.
Start gong farming and you'll be living the high life like me and Diamond Dave. I'm telling you what.
Hagar who? Dave. Diamond Dave, the one and only. What have you been up to?
Not much. I've been chilling. Getting my playlist ready for the boombox. Take it down to the beach. You know how I roll.
What are you blasting?
I got a couple songs. I got some songs for my friends too. Neon
Okay.
Lord, I'm throwing out a little DJ Jazzy Jeff and that other guy he's with, Summertime.
Yeah,
It's not my jam, but I know it's completely his jam.
absolutely.
For yourself and my buddy Mr. Tim, a little bit of School's Out for Summer.
Coops. Yeah.
Which I think we talked about earlier. For some of you older types, The Birthplace of Metal, Summertime Blues by Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer, yeah.
And a couple others on the thing. We could go with the Seals and Croft cover by Typo Negative, a little Summer Breeze. Throw that in the mix.
Rest in peace, Pete.
For all you super young people, we've got the whole album of Sunbather by Death Heaven. I don't know. It made me cry, but it is beautiful.
All right. I'm not familiar with that one.
Mars and our friends up in Canada, Brian Adams, little summer of 69. Hey, you gotta like that. So yeah, but for me, I always go back to the leader of the Misfits, the guy who should have played Wolverine, everybody's favorite angry metal midget, Glenn Danzig himself with his Dirty Black Summer.
Oh, great pick.
Are you familiar with this song, Joseph?
Of course I am. Are you kidding me?
I'm just checking, you know. That's the heat. The heat. I'm going crazy from the heat out here.
I go Misfits. I go Sam Hain. I go Danzig. All of them. Absolutely.
So I'm going to blow your mind and hopefully not ruin the track.
Okay.
Okay. So Will Ferrell ruined Blue Oyster Cult with the cowbell, right?
Yeah,
That's all you can hear now.
Yeah.
Now I want you and all the Paisans in Pizza Land to go back, listen to Dirty Black Summer. Danzig could use that 1 cent per listen that they get off Spotify or whatever that is. I'm sure he could for oil or waxing his chest down. Who knows?
Yeah.
But listen to the song and you will hear repeated Danzig grunting the entire song in rhythm. I think it's even a beat track of him going, ooh, ooh, ooh. It might be a sample from that time he got knocked the F out in the backstage.
Oh, boy.
But I hate to ruin the song to you, but that's all I can hear when I hear it. But that's Dr. Metal's Summer Jam. Living in the sun, going crazy from the heat. It's a good time. I hope you all have a great summer.
Hey, thank you very much, Doc. Hey, I heard you played some DCC the other night.
I did not get to play. But I will tell you that the world famous The Dill lived up to his title and ruined the game for everybody.
And now there was an artifact that ruined it. I think Marzio may have had something to do with that artifact. We're going to have to ask him about how Dill ruined the game once again. You and
Can't wait to hear about it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We have a special guest tonight, everybody. Oh, yeah! Woo! Levi Combs! One of my favorite people on this planet is here tonight. Levi, how are you?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm well. We're going to introduce a new segment on the pizza party. All right? The Crypt of Cryptozoology.
Ooh.
All right? Strange artifacts from around the world. What do you have deep from in the combs? Oh, let me get this. Deep from within the catacombs.
I have the one of the many 7 turquoise skulls of Voldrung.
Wow, tell us about
Take a look at this bad boy right there. That's a good one. Yeah.
Now,
how deep you want to go?
I want to go about 5 minutes deep.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah, in the days of old, before the Hyperboreans came south out of the hinterlands and invaded the lands of men, the wizard Voldrung, known as the Witchblood King, he rose to power and he subjugated all those around them to his dark will. Among those he conquered were other users of magic, and he bound them to his. He bound them to him. He bound their souls to him, using a terrible ritual stolen from the lips of sightless oracles. Voldrung transformed his enemies' skulls into vessels of jagged turquoise, enslaved their essence within, and then shackled them to his will for all of time. The horrible fate quickly became known to other wizards of the day, and Voldrung became more feared than ever. Eventually, Voldrung gathered 7 of these grim trophies to his side, floating, glimmering skulls of turquoise that spat fiery death upon his enemies and shattered civilized realms to rubble. An alliance of rival wizards, priests of good, and other heroes, aka not the Dill, rose to oppose him, and in the ensuing conflict, Voldrung was destroyed in a cataclysmic surge of magic. The 7 turquoise skulls, however, were scattered across the hinterlands. In the many winters since, the skulls have resurfaced a handful of times, becoming known to sages and modern practitioners of magic. Voldrung's name is forever attached to them. And there you go. We can talk powers. We can talk legacy. What do you want to do?
First of all, I want to give you a standing ovation because that was incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Levi Combs from the Catacombs. I have the best friends in the world. I love you, Levi. Powers,
We need to get you a cape, Levi. It's like Orson Welles doing the old wine ads.
Yes,
Hour.
yes.
It's epic.
Listen, Nona, I need one emerald cape for my friend Levi. I hear the singer going right now. It's already getting. You're gonna look like Liberace, baby. All right, what does this thing do?
Well, there's 7 of them, and each one of these skulls belongs to a different one of these wizards that Voldrang subjugated. So you have, a number of different powers across. Some are more powerful than others. Some of them are kind of like lesser skulls. You have others that are the greater skulls.
Yeah.
And then when you bring them into proximity to each other, they acquire additional power. So if you have 2 skulls, not only do you have the power of skull A and skull B, but then they have a power just that only becomes apparent when you bring them into proximity.
Okay.
And it's said that if you're able to find all 7 skulls and bring them into proximity to one another, then you can finally put the shade of Voldrang to rest, because he was the one who subjugated these wizards. They have strength in numbers.
They're just popping this
Please
stuff.
tell me more about the 7th skull of the 7th skull.
The 7th, the 7th skull.
Can you eat brains out of it?
Shield monkey.
What do you want? You want Timeless Arcana? You want Eldritch Recall, Sorcerous Fury?
I want to play with madness.
These skulls have it all. Skull-O-Rama.
I want your skull.
And that's the origin of Faces of Death, the VHS tape. Levi, does this live somewhere, or is this just in the ether? Is this in one of your books?
No, oh Lord, no. This is just something I made up for the pizza party. So I made
crazy son of a gun.
I'm going with the Danzig theme.
Right,
I'm going with the Danzig theme. I want your skull. I need your skull.
Oh boy.
No, I made this years ago when I was living in Alaska. I made it when I did Jungle Tomb of the Mummy Bride, and I set it on the table there when I was taking some promo photos for it. But in the time since, I was like, what would it be cool if there were 7 of them? So, sapphire skulls, turquoise skulls, what have you. What's it going to be?
Levi, I'm not speaking in hyperbole. You are an inspiration. You have a beautiful mind, and what's even more beautiful about it is you share it with everybody all the time. You always have everybody's back, and you're always putting people over through all your media, and I really appreciate what you do for the hobby, buddy. You're one of the good guys for sure.
Skull-O-Vision. See it in Skull-O-Vision.
I feel it. Wow.
Stand back, ladies. I'll protect you. You too, Dave.
Well, Levi, can you stick around for a little bit? Because
of course.
Our next guest, you guys, like I said before we started, 2 meatballs in the same pan, up a little spray, a little bit more, not enough to poison my wife right go upstairs, but almost. Ladies and gentlemen, straight from Alpha Flight, up north in the land of the Maple Leaf. Oh, my Brajol brother, the master of manicotti himself.
Joey.
Marzio, I love you. Thanks for coming back to the show. How you doing, buddy?
Joey, I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on the pizza party. I can't believe it's been this long. I'm starving over here.
I know. I'm sorry. I international mail is tough.
But I got to tell you something. You put me after the most interesting man in the world. This guy's living up in Alaska fighting Kodiaks, building skulls, and I show up next. Put me after some Salam who had nothing to say. Let's go.
You always got something to say.
Always
got a tale to tell. This is a meeting of the minds. Can you believe this, Dr. Metal?
Cousin Marty will be back next time to make you feel a little, give you that little heater coming in off the top tag.
Dr. Metal, you tell me when we got to go to the mattresses for Cousin Marty. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I sent him a cake with a file in it. I figured that'd be enough.
We got to hit the mattresses.
So, Mars, always wheeling and dealing. That brain of yours never rests. You are an eloquent writer. I love your style. I particularly love your tone. You are just knocking out of the park. Tell me what is now. Well, first of all, to start, congratulations. Tell us about the Kickstarter that is now funded.
Okay, so currently right now I have a new Kickstarter going. It's basically, I described it, I think it was to you, Joey, that this is basically a flying elbow off the top rope to everything Mighty Deeds. So
Yes.
it is 3 different items in the Kickstarter. The first one being what's called Mighty Peasant Deeds. It is it's presented in 2 forms. One is obviously in a book form, and the other one's 96 tarot cards. So what Mighty Peasant Deeds are is I've taken all the occupations from table 1-3 of the core rules, and I've created a mighty deed for each one of those occupations using their starting trained weapon and trade good. So yes, you can kill the Chaos Lord with a chicken cutlet, maybe,
Yes.
or you can somehow kill yourself. So every one of these deeds are presented like I did in Steel and Fury, where there's a mighty fumble, the mighty peasant deed, and then the mighty critical. So there's a really bad thing that can happen to you, what happens when the deed goes off, and then something fantastic that can happen. They're silly. Some of them are silly. Some of them are outrageous. Some of them are cool. They're all deadly, and that's part 1 of the Kickstarter. The other part being,
so there's a part 2.
well, yeah, there's a part 2. Part 2 is I have a lot of mighty deeds. As you well know, Steel and Fury was the first thing I've ever written for DCC. So that was, and I wrote it before I ever played. I think I played maybe 1 game of Dungeon Crawl Classics before I wrote it. Yes, and so over the years I've compiled different mighty deeds in different books and adventures and in different books. So now this is a compilation of all of them in one place in one time.
Okay.
I've thrown in some new ones. I think we got about a dozen new ones in there. In one massive book called Blood and Thunder, the ultimate guide to mighty deeds, and it has over 150 mighty deeds in this one book. So that's also part of the Kickstarter, and I've probably given it too many reward levels. It could be a bit confusing. What I wanted to do was give people options, right? I don't know, like there's PDFs, there's print on demand versions, there's you can just buy the book, you can buy both books, you can buy everything, you can buy the cards. So I broke it down that way. Just to give people a lot of options.
So between you and you and Levi are on my Mount Rushmore, not only for for 2 things. Well, it's connected. You guys have the best titles for your works, but the quality of what's inside it matches the awesomeness of the title. So both of you have that power. Mars, Shadows About Hope still stands as like one of my favorite things I've read. Not only, and I brought this up on the show before, this was after you were on, not only like for the gaming aspect of it, but just as a piece of narrative fiction. What a great thing. That was a successful Kickstarter of yours as well. What are you most excited about in this Kickstarter that you want people to see?
I mean, I like the idea. This is different for me. It's maybe a big well, it is a big project for me because I'm just one guy kind of banging this stuff out in his basement in his free time. So
hey, welcome to the club. That's
right,
kind of what we're all here for.
I need a team of workers, but it's just, I like the idea of the tarot cards. I also find that the tarot cards they have more value than just the deed that's on them. Like, because if you're running a funnel, they can be lined up as your marching order, and people use them that way, and as well as you can for character creation, you can literally deal out your occupations to somebody. You can deal 4 out and then kind of roll up some stats on the side, because it takes a total of 5 or 10 minutes to roll up to 0 level. So that's a way to do it as well. I know what you're asking me though. I know what you're thinking there, Joey Royale. There's only 79 occupations in the book. Why 96 cards? Because I made a card for every variant. So every farmer gets a card. Every herder gets their own deed because they have their own animal. Yeah. And I like the idea too, if you deal out the cards in your character creation, no one has a duplicate. So you could be up to 6 different farmers, but you got a nice, breakdown of all the different roles in the book or whatever, all the different occupations in the book.
It's a nice layer of depth there.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of all the mighty deeds in one book, in the Blood and Thunder. Like, I have some tandem deeds in there taken from the world of Greyhawk, the world of Lankmar.
All right.
And I don't know if anyone's familiar with it or not. What I do is I take the actual passage from the Appendix N or Appendix N adjacent literature I took the deed from. So there'll be an actual passage from like a Conan story, and it'll be, you know, chances are Conan doing that deed, and then I write the deed after it.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
that brings up another. Oh, go ahead, guys. I saw that Doc and Levi wanted to say something. Doc.
The thing I'm most excited about this, you know, you're flipping through Facebook, the cover art for this thing. I want that on the side of the Dr. Metal van. Oh my God, it is just the best.
Who is doing your art, Mars?
So that cover art for so I went with Del Tiegler. I hope I'm saying his name right. Fantastic artist. I brought it up to him. I said, this is what I'm going for. I want the cover of Conan, the movie poster of Conan the Barbarian. I want you to replace Conan with a baker holding a baguette, and replace Valeria with a farmer holding a goose and a pitchfork. And what he sent back was awesome. Just absolutely
Chef's
awesome.
kiss. Chef's kiss right there.
Literally a chef's kiss.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, Del's the man. Del Tiegler.
Del's
He's
awesome.
awesome. He did all that stuff for Hyperia. He's done some Planet X. He's done stuff for everybody. He's awesome.
But
He's just a good dude all around too.
It stopped me dead in my tracks. So kudos to you both for the vision and for the execution. It got my money alone for that.
And you know what? Originally, there wasn't going to be a book version of the tarot cards, but when I seen that cover, I had to put it on a book. So I'm like, this deserves its like those are the, you know, the images on the tarot cards. I'm like, I'm going to use that for a book. I have to do it in book form just for that cover alone.
Good.
So I got other art, you know, purchased to put into that book, so to make it, you know, something to buy.
It's a great investment, man. I know it's extra money, but it's a great investment. You know, go ahead and gild the lily. You got great source material. You might as well gild the lily and add some beautiful art from a respected artist on there. That's wonderful. So I'm going to ask all you guys this, right? Mars, I'll start with you because I know you're an avid reader. What's been on the plate for you lately? What's something good you've read lately?
You know what I did? I just recently went back and I wanted to read the Gary Gygax's Gord. That's why I said Greyhawk. Gord the Rogue series from when I was a kid. I don't know if you're familiar with Saga of Old City, Knight Errant, all the old Gord the Rogue books.
I have not read them, but I've heard good things.
So I read them when I was, you know, whatever, 13, 12, 13 years old or whatnot. And I'm surprised at how dark some of these books can be. Like within the first 15 pages, Gord drags his dead stepmother out to be eaten by dogs in the alley. And I'm like, no wonder I write the way I write. This is my stuff, right? I'm like, I didn't even conceive of dragging my dead stepmother out into an alley to be eaten by dogs. This is fantastic. But
isn't that something? It kind of goes back to the beginning of the show. Like I'm going back to revisit some of the stuff I read as a kid, and the stuff that we were reading in school, man. You know, for fun, there was some dark stuff. There was some great stuff. Yeah. And that's why we are the way we are. Woo-hoo! And I love it.
And I'm not here to rain on anybody's parade, but if you see some of the stuff some gaming companies put out, like where's the swords? Where's the wizards? Where's the monsters? Like, I don't want to go to a prom. I don't want to go to a prom. I want to fight mutations in the bottom of a castle. You know what I mean? But whatever.
That's why we're all here in the same basement together. All right. I mean, this is why I love DCC, people. Yeah, like 100%. Where else can you meet people literally from all around the world that you say something and you know exactly that feeling, you know exactly that smell, that sound, that feeling of Saturday morning. I love it. Levi, what have you been getting your brain into lately?
I'm actually reading two things right now. The first is this book called it's a study on Kung Fu flicks and really just martial arts flicks in general called These Fists Break Bricks. It's a big oversized book, and it goes all the way back to like the 20s and 30s. You wouldn't think there would be martial arts in films and literature that old, but it goes all the way through the modern day, but really focuses on like between the 60s and the 80s. It really delves into that whole ninja craze, the whole canon era, and then goes deep into the Shaw Brothers era of Kung Fu flicks. So It's highly entertaining. They even go like deep into like the Bruce exploitation. Like after Bruce Lee died, there were all these copycat Bruce Lee films. They really dive deep into that, and it's fantastic. I would just anybody who's a fan of like grindhouse films, exploitation films, genre films, or just kung fu stuff in general. Definitely, this is like a must-have, cannot miss book. It's called These Fists Break Bricks.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then you said
and then the other one is
the
the Orchard Keeper. So Cormac McCarthy died last week, and he was my favorite author. He wrote my favorite book, which is The Road. And then a bunch of his other books are kind of in my top 10. I really like Blood Meridian, Child of God, No Country for Old Men. I was a big fan of his writing style. His writing style leaves a lot of people kind of flat, but for me, I really enjoyed it. But I always told myself I was either going to wait till Cormac McCarthy died, or I knew I was on the way out, and I saved one book of his to read when that was The Orchard Keeper, which was, I believe, was his first book. So I just started that last night. So I'm reading Orchard Keeper.
I'm not familiar with that one. How's it tasting so far?
It's good. I mean, it's classic Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac. Yeah, The Road. My first experience with The Road, I'm like, well, I have never read anything like this before. If somebody wants a really different take on the narrative structure or narrative tone and voice and just the way a book is written.
So I read The Road.
Yeah.
And in the back, it has other books. It was my first experience with a book by Cormac McCarthy, and B, a book that was on Oprah's book club. But in the back, it starts reading. They had the synopsis for other books you might want to read. And No Country for Old Men was in there. I read the description and I go, this is a Coen Brothers movie waiting to happen. And I had to read it. And sure enough, they optioned it within 5 minutes of that. So, yeah, big fan. And shout out to Jamie, who you guys might know from our Rhode Island crew. Blood Meridian is his #1 book.
Oh, it's so good.
Nonstop. Yeah.
It's so fly. It has the best villain of any story I've ever read. The Judge in Blood Meridian is still my top villain, period. Even over Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. He's just, the Judge is a flawless villain. It's so despicable yet so it's good stuff.
Well, I got to jump in here because Levi, this is for you especially, or anybody really. Blood Meridian, fantastic. But I read my favorite fantasy series ever. Maybe my favorite books is by R. Scott Baker. It's the Prince of Nothing series. It's actually 7 books.
All right.
And fancy that, his author, his favorite author, and who inspired him the most is, in fact, Cormac McCarthy, and it's Blood Meridian. So they have an entire series, a bunch of scalpers that scalp these, what are almost like a stand-in for orcs. But if you ever get a chance, check out those books. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
I just wrote this down. R. Scott Baker.
R. Scott Baker, Prince of
Nothing. Wrote it down.
And just like I wrote down Blue Cheer because I've never heard of them, and you said they birthed heavy metal. I gotta check it out.
Oh yeah, you'll love.
It turns out this guy writing these books lives an hour and a half from me. Wow. I almost and he stopped writing. I'm almost going to do a Misery and meet him up on the highway.
No. I can't have another Cousin Marty situation here.
I'm going to run him off the road and make him finish this the newest books for me any minute.
Oh my God!
I'll feed him lasagna until he writes it.
We gotta have a whether it's the pizza party or not. We gotta have I'd like to do a book roundtable. I love these kind of conversations.
Hey, I almost hit George R.R. Martin like that at Comic-Con about 11 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, in the crowd, I was there working for the day job, and I start moving through the crowd. I'm like, that's the best damn George R.R. Martin cosplay. And it was really him.
That's awesome. We got to wrap up in a minute because we have a show coming on after us. Couple of things. I see Daiku Games is in the chat. What's up, my man? Daiku, I really appreciate this. I got to do some self-promotion here. I got to pay the bills. Daiku had me on, and I exposed some backstory to Joey Royale that I've never exposed in public before, kind of like how I came to be. So check out Daiku Games. And then today, I was a very lucky man, and I'm very grateful for this, The guys over at Epic Levels, and I know I can thank Levi for this.
What up,
The Mad Dungeon podcast, the Joey Royale edition just came out. So there's some pizza and some animatronics and banjos in that dungeon. So check those awesome dudes out if you're not familiar with them. Over at the Epic Level site and the Mad Dungeon podcast. That was a blast. Levi, thanks for helping me out with those guys. Listen, I love you guys all so much. The guys that are with me right here in front of the screen, and Elena, and everybody in the chat. I hope everybody is set for a happy and healthy summer. It's so great to see all my old friends in the chat and some new friends. Jess, we are all very proud of you. You get the Mighty Deed Award of the year. So keep on rolling those 20s, Jess, and we'll meet up soon. Everybody else out there, I love you. Hope to see a lot of you at Gen Con. I'm going to be working the Goodman Games booth. Miss Brinkman, Jen Brinkman told me that as part of my contract, I do have to wear the mask. So I had to go get some extra ones just in case I get so excited that the rubber band snaps. This is no joke. It's been mentioned in 2 emails already. So I guess it's like a thing. So we'll see you guys there. We'll roast some dice. I'm bringing all my games, and I don't really I'm going to be rolling. I'm going to do in funnels, and I'm going to be working the booth. Other than that, I have nothing on the books, and I just want to hang out with you all. I want to shake your hand. I want to tell you I love you. We'll spray Old Spice on each other. We'll have some slices, and I want to run some games for you or be part of your games. I'm really flying by the seat of my pants. My first big con. Me and Tim DeShane are driving 16 hours together in the car. We'll be there all week. It's going to be crazy. I'm getting all sorts of new jumpsuits, some new suit jackets, some new bolos. Woo! It's going to be a hoot. But Levi, Mars, Dr. Metal, Elena, you guys are wonderful people. Everybody in the crowd out there, Great Babe, all my friends that are on the channel, Brad, everybody, Lou, Scott Cthulhu, if you're out there, I'm thinking of you, pal. This weekend, if you got nothing to do on Saturday night from 9 p.m. to midnight on WCNIradio.org, you can listen in to me spin some hits from the Crypt of Cool, Lord Blood's Crypt of Cool, garage rock, psychedelic, polka-bration, psycho-billy, weirdo, freak-out music, 1960s Cambodian fuzz, all sorts of weird stuff. Got a great show. Call in. WCNIradio.org for Lord Blood's Crypt of Cool. All right, that wraps it up from the pizza party. Ciao, Paisans. I'll see you in July. I'll be thinking of you. Keep on being awesome, everybody. Good night.